as a center back, and Emmy Dewar, number 13, in for just her second start of the year as Brooke Heinsohn is pressured and Duke gives away a corner. This crowd. This is Caitlin Cosme out of the back. Diagonal dealt with by Zoe Morse, right into the pass of Sumter. This is numbers up for UVA. Sumter slotting it through, Spanstra on the run. Alexa Spanstra cutting it back, Ordonez. Brooke Heinsohn is there, she didn't hit it cleanly. What a chance.
And when you have a team press you and there's space in between the lines, this is how you break it. Fantastic ball from Sumter into Spanstra, two players that like to make runs out of that midfield, difficult to defend, especially if you're Duke. I like this idea by Spanstra, cut it back to Ordonez.
Where her cleat gave ground on the turf. Ella Stevens playing that through. Bodie is onside and looks like she'll get there first. Little scoop pass, McGuire trying to shield it. This is dangerous, back post. Ivory got a hand to it and it's clear. Duke
Players wide open in the box. It's a good look out wide for Tess Bodie coming out of the midfield. But then not good enough marking in the box for Virginia. Have to come up with some big defensive plays to make sure this one stays out of the back.
Because there was so much wind in the Syracuse area, they didn't want to mess with a flight. Dewar dispossessed. This is Taryn Torres. Deanna Ordonez pulls out wide here. Haven't even talked about her. Freshman, one of the country's leading scorers. Courtney Peterson looking for the run of McCool. Heinsohn came halfway.
And you mentioned it earlier, Zhao, before she went down for injury, completely shut out Jarrett earlier in the season. Made it so difficult for her to even get on the ball.
Mary Kate McGuire onside, playing it across. Emmy Dewar gets a shot away, and Laurel Ivory up to the task.
Swanson said his team needs to make sure that they are aware of quick transitions from Duke. It was an issue they had against them last time they played. And Dewar does a good job of getting herself in position. You can see easily found the back of the net. Being good in transition as soon as they win it. Talked about Ella Stevens being that important part in there. She's done a good job of being patient, but also looking to see if she can spring her team into a quick attack.
Nabet couldn't control that. This is Spanstra. Megan McCool, 5 goals in her last 4 games. Over to Jarrett. 1-2 with Ordonez. Delaney Graham read it. Races for it and loses out. Zandy just into the game with the left foot, drives it high. Tess Bodie races onto that one. Numbers up for Duke. Bodie going back post. Ivory got a touch. And Phoebe McClernand
is really on goal, and they should. Tess Bodie just doing a good job of getting to this one before Peterson. And difficult to tell, but well done there.
Touch inside for Dewar, and now Ella Stevens. 8 goals, 6 assists on the year for Stevens. That's big numbers on this Duke team. Plays it in for Mackenzie Pluck, who had all kinds of space. Doesn't have a lot of targets. Looking for the tall figure of Stevens. Morse caromed into her. And Virginia Here's Peterson, another former attacker. She's gone farther all the way to left back, and she's felled by Bodie, who says no hard feelings, but she did get up.
And Courtney Peterson doing a good job of wiggling her way out of pressure. And then you see Tess Bodie off, just starting in the midfield in this second half.
Ella Stevens broke that up for Duke. Chance to get numbers, but Rebecca Jarrett fought back to win it for Virginia. Makes one miss, makes a second miss. Rebecca Jarrett on the move, makes a third miss. Off the mark with the pass, trying to track down Spanstra. She goes against Pascal, turns her. Gets the cross away, but Caitlin Cosme is there for Duke.
And this first little bit, Jonathan, is already better by Virginia. Jarrett running 1v1 at players at that back line. Doing a good job with her decision-making, realizing she doesn't have a good look on shot. Turns out, finds Spanstra, and then Spanstra, the first time we've really seen a player take inline.
Jarrett's cross with the left. Spanstra one-timer, just missed.
Graham sends a great ball over to Spanstra. Spanstra makes good contact first.
Wasn't able to bring it with her. That's given away though. Tess Bodie. 4 against 4 for Duke. Plays it early. Mackenzie Pluck. Ivory is there again with sure hands.
Both ways that you can force Duke to have to chase you.
Jarrett preparing to take off, drops it off for Spanstra. McCool back to goal, numbers down, drives it home! Megan McCool, 5 straight games.
And this is why she has to be the lead candidate for ACC Offensive Player of the Year, the queen of opportunistic, makes things happen. This is a half chance. Just when you think Virginia's just going to force the ball, lump it in there, McCool does a good job of using her body, shielding.
Sends it in toward the penalty spot. Terrific ball. It will be a corner kick for Duke. Jarrett has a chance to run here. Jailbreak time for Virginia. Head down, and she picked the wrong pass in the end, and Delaney Graham got in the way. Sarepka to Sumter. Stayed on side, got to the right foot, played it across, and a McCool almost delivered again.
And this is excellent patience by Virginia, switching the point of attack. And partially due to tired legs on their part, but at the same time, better pressure by Virginia.
Pluck has been their most dangerous player in the second half. Here she goes, twisting and turning and sending it just wide.
And twist and turn defenders. She looks to bend this one around Ivory. Sends that one sailing wide, but a good opportunity and something that Virginia needs to be mindful of. Not allowing Pluck to be able to get turned face up and start running at their back line.
Julia Hannon getting set to come in for Duke at the bottom of your screen, the only sub they've used tonight.
Jonathan, you can see Pluck sitting on that.
McGuire and Stevens, a 1-2. Mary-Kate McGuire couldn't get the shot away. Zoe Moore sliding to block it. Huge play.
Here's that quick little combination play between Bodie and Stevens.
Mitchell looking for that run. Spanstra defending, trying to shield it all the way out, and it will be off the foot of Graham. Megan McCool, 55th minute, has the goal that separates these teams.
And she does well to take this down. I mean, it bounces up at the end, but she's the one that gets to it first.